Good morning, Reptilians. Welcome back to my channel. So ignore Zaz here because she was just here because we just filmed this past Sunday's video. But I'm super excited because I got a little baby Betta fish and he is so cute. If you remember a few weeks back, I actually filmed me starting to set up his tank, and I have made quite a few adjustments to that tank, a lot of which was due to the video on Jeremy's Wild Studios channel. He asked for people to send in their tanks and I sent mine in, and he gave me a lot of really awesome suggestions, so I fixed quite a few things in that tank. But I cycled the whole thing and it's all been planted for a while, and I got my little Betta and I got him a couple of tank mates. Don't worry, they're not fish, they are Malaysian trumpet snails, but I'm super excited. I know that Malaysian trumpet snails tend to overpopulate quickly, but they are also a great tank mate for betta fish because they clean up all the extra waste from them, and they also are nocturnal, so they will come out when he is sleeping and clean and then bury themselves in the substrate in the daytime, so it works out nicely. I'm super excited about him, and I also got to pick him up in person from It's Anna Louise here on YouTube. She is the sweetest, and it was so cool meeting her and picking up my little guy. I'm super excited. The difference between him and Gregory, who was my betta fish that I actually got from Petco. He was my betta fish that I actually got from Petco, who passed a few months back at about 2.5, 3 years old. The difference between the two, bringing them home, is absolutely insane. But anyways, I will stop talking now and I will show you the whole process of me setting up this betta tank and bringing him home and meeting Anna Louise and all of that right now. So first thing was actually ordering my Betta. I had been following this spawn for a little while. I am absolutely in love with his mom and dad. They are so beautiful, and I just had to have one. And after a while of convincing my husband that I had to have one, he finally agreed. If you're interested, you should probably hurry because it looks like she is almost out. Anyway, let's build that tank. So we're going to be using a 5.5 gallon tank. I am so sorry about the glare and the water spots. This is just in a really weird spot in my living room, and also I thought I got all these water spots off when I was sanitizing the tank, and I clearly did not, as seen by the water spots all on the outside of the tank. For the substrate, we're using Eco Complete Planet Aquarium substrate by Carib Sea. I just really like the way that this looked, and it is supposed to already have a bunch of biological components in it so that it can quickly begin cycling your tank. And this was something that was super important to me because my fish was not going to be in here for a while, and I wanted to go ahead and get that cycling process started without putting minnows or anything in it. This is also highly recommended for growing live plants, which is necessary because this is going to be a planted aquarium. And also, just a note, this kind of substrate is made from volcanic rock, and it is known to kind of raise your pH some, so definitely if you're going to use something like this, make sure that you have something to balance that out in terms of lowering your pH. And then I'm just installing the filter and the heater because I forgot to do it before I put the substrate in. Although some people don't think so, betta fish are tropical fish and they do produce waste, so they do need a low flow filter and a heater. And then I'm just filling it up. The water looks super dirty, but the bag specifically says not to rinse the substrate, just to put it in there as is, and it did clear right up. Next is the driftwood. I had 2 pieces here, but I only ended up using one, and that is the Mopani driftwood. Driftwood like this will release tannins into the water, which will lower the pH of the water. As you can see here, the boiling water is already turning brown, and betta fish love that. And then you can see the water already cleared up, and this was later that very same day or early the next morning, I don't remember, but it already cleared up, and now I am just placing that ornament. Initially I had bought 2 crested Java ferns and 1 normal Java fern to go in here, and then I quickly realized that that was not going to be enough plants for this tank. At this point I started to experiment with different background colors, and the white was nice, but I really liked the whole thing being super dark, so I went with a dark blue for a background color just to hide those cords that are behind the tank. I also at this point went back to the pet store and grabbed 2 Anubias Nana plants just to fill in more room, and I just kind of tucked those underneath the driftwood. They're not buried, they're just kind of tucked under there. I also put a Purgin pack in the filter. I absolutely love these. These make your water crystal clear. So basically this will take the brown out of the water that is put off by the driftwood, but it won't affect the lower pH benefits that you get from that driftwood at all. This thing is absolutely amazing, and within a couple of hours of having it in my tank, it cleared up and it has been crystal clear ever since. In addition, I also bought some moss balls because betta fish love moss balls, and it also helps with water quality. Advice: if you need moss balls, buy them off Amazon instead of the pet store. On Amazon, you're going to spend about $6 for 6, where at the pet store, you're going to spend about $5 or $6 for 1. I also thought it'd be cool to have duckweed in this tank, and I ordered some from eBay, and this happened. So, needless to say, that didn't work out at all. And what's that floating in the bag? Snails! I also got Malaysian trumpet snails to go in this tank. I had to order them off eBay because no store sells them because they're considered pest snails. And I thought this was going to be a bust too, because as you can see, this bag is like deflated. The box and the bag that it came in was soaked, but all the snails inside were okay. So there are 2 of these snails in this Betta tank, and I put the rest in my 55-gallon fish tank, and they're just there to help clean up waste. And then starts my modification suggested by Jeremy's Wild Studio. Thank you so much again, Jeremy. First of all, I am putting kind of a buffer around the filter intake to prevent his fins from getting caught in that. I thought I was going to have to buy a sponge and kind of fit it around there, but Petco actually sells this for like $3, which I thought was awesome. And it's definitely not too noticeable in the tank. I also bought a lot of new plants to go in this tank so that he will feel more secure and safe in his home. In addition, apparently betta fish don't really like to have a lot of empty swimming space at the top. They like places that they can rest and calm down. So we want to give him all of that. So this is basically what the final product of the tank was, except for I moved 1 Anubias plant, but other than that, this is it. I ended up letting this tank cycle for about a month before I actually got my betta fish. And then it was time to go on my journey to meet an awesome YouTuber and to bring my little fish home. I am in Tennessee and I'm about to get my fishy! Meet Handsome Jack. His parents are long-tailed half-moon Nemo kois, and they carry the marble gene, which means that at any moment he could change colors, which is so cool to me. I got my little fishy! He's so pretty! I'm trying to look in the viewfinder to see if you can see how cute he is. Oh, you can kind of see his little metallic sparkle. He is so cute. Oh my goodness. And I got to meet Anna Louise, and she was the sweetest. Thank you so much again to Anna Louise. If you want a cute little betta fish, oh my goodness, he's so tiny. If you want a cute little betta fish, definitely check out It's Anna Louise on YouTube. Actually, she documents all of her betta breeding process and also on Instagram, and she has a website. I'm gonna leave all of her stuff in the description because she was the sweetest to work with, and this little baby is so cute. I'm used to like big betta fish, and this is like a tiny little baby, and it is the cutest. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get him home. Now for the acclimation process. This took so long because I wanted to make sure that I did it right. I first floated the bag for about 30-45 minutes, and then after that I was taking out a little bit of tank water and just putting it into the bag, and I did that every 4 minutes, and I just did that until the bag was full. I took a long time to do this. I just wanted to make sure that I did it right, and I think that it really helped out doing it this way instead of just floating it and sticking him in there. He definitely adjusted very well. Also, the lighting in this shot is now wonderful because at this point it was almost dark out and you could actually see into my tank without seeing kid reflections running around in the background. And then he was free! He spent the first hours in this tank until his light went off just exploring everything. It was super cute because he would go around and and peek in every crevice and around every leaf, and I just sat there and watched him for the longest time because it was so adorable. Like I said, the difference between a pet store Betta and a Betta from a breeder that has had time taken with him was so crazy, and it was obvious on just the first day of having him home, the difference. And don't forget about the little snails. This is a crazy weird up close shot of one of the Malaysian trumpet snails. Handsome Jack did so good the first day that the second day I woke up and he was super stressed out, and it scared me. You can see here that his fins are clamped close to his body and he's just kind of floating at the top of the tank, and he did this for quite a while and I was super scared. So I reached out to BB's Beasties and it's Anna Louise for some advice, some tips, and they gave me some really good advice, and they were both super comforting and super sweet. BB's Beasties suggested that I turn the light off, so I did that, and it's Anna Louise suggested that I buy some Indian almond leaves because they are calmers for betta fish, so I did that as well. I had to order them off Amazon, so it took a couple days for them to get there. I made sure to boil them before because I didn't want to risk introducing any kind of bacteria into my water, and these were so giant. I had to break them up into pieces because that's it compared to my hand, and I have very large hands. So I broke it up into pieces and put them in the water, and once I did that, his whole self just changed. He went straight back to being that same little fishy he was from the first day, and swimming around and just being happy and explorative, and yeah, so that made me super happy. And he's about to eat some frozen bloodworms. The awesome thing about getting a betta fish from a breeder is that he will literally come up and eat these things basically off of my finger, which is so cool. That is something that I definitely didn't expect. And if you see that there's almost like an oily film at the top of my water, I did a little research, and apparently that is from both the Indian almond leaves and the bloodworms, and they cause that film up there. It did make me uncomfortable, so I changed the water. But that mixed with the fact that my filter is letting out a very low flow causes that film up there. And that is it, guys. Like I said, he was super stressed out the day after the first day that I brought him home, but he is since doing much better, and I am in love with how his tank looks, and I'm in love with him, and yeah, I'm just super, super happy about him and everything. I know normally my new animal stuff is always my Sunday videos, but I decided to do this one as a Wednesday video because I know this is a reptile channel and a lot of people aren't interested in my fish, but I still wanted him to have his own video because I love him so much. So we decided just to do it as a Wednesday video instead. But yeah, I'm super excited, and he is now home. I will leave all of it's Anna Louise's stuff in the description below. The link to her store and the links to her YouTube and Instagram, Twitter, her social media, all that stuff. I will leave it down in the description below, so definitely go and check her out. Anyways, if you're not already, feel free to follow me on my other socials and like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications every single time I put a new video, which is every Sunday and Wednesday. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.